to come to the big room so we can start our morning activity? Good morning, everyone! Happy New Year! Happy whole year! All year. Today, we are so happy to see you all. It's been a while. We saw you all last year. I hope you had a good holiday with your family and friends. And in this cold and snowy morning, we are here. And I always say, congratulations, because you made the right choice to be here. And we would like to invite Mateus to read the initial message, and then Nadia will do the prayer.
Be tolerant toward your neighbor in the measure that you would expect to receive it. On today's earth there is no one whose journey is without error, fear, or torment. These cause affliction when you are trying to do what is right, and they cause suffering when you are trying to appease, requiring understanding and tolerance. For that reason, sow tolerance today in order to reap it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mateus. And if we can close our eyes, if you would prefer, so we can connect with our internal divine conscience and thank our loving Creator for this special moment in which doesn't matter how the weather is, we're all here. And we thank the good spirits and spiritual protectors that are always inspiring us, watching over us, that today we may be open to receive and understand the message that our loving guests came here to deliver to us. We thank them for persevering through the weather and coming here to see us today, that we may all join in great happiness, not paying so much attention for our differences, and give us each other hands in solidarity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we can go to our classes now, and we would like to ask the teens and preteens to sit in front, please. We can leave the back seat for our parents, our grown-up friends. Yeah.
I like that. Grown-up friends. Let me get up so the seat is free.
No, it's okay.
It's okay? Okay.
Well, while you're getting ready for your class, we like to announce that we are going to have on February 5th, is the first Sunday of the month. We are going to have Flavio Zanetti here, our guest speaker. We are still going to have the English lecture on February 5th. But after that, we are invited to watch a play from Centro Luz Divina from Newark. They're coming to do a play in Newtown, where we had our Christmas celebration last 2016. Last year, so close. 2015, yes. The tickets are... Onde é que estão os tickets? Online? We can get the tickets online on our center website. They're gonna be serving lunch, and then they do in the play. So it's it's like a comedy, a spiritist comedy, right? It's funny. We are going to be with friends and family, and you can bring children. We're all invited. But please buy your tickets online at our center website. So to introduce our guest speaker, where's Gabe? Oh, we're inviting Gabrielle.
Caro Correa has been studying Spiritism for 23 years. She has performed volunteer work with people with HIV and wheelchair users with cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis. Currently, she is a member of the Spiritist Society of Virginia, and she is a co-host with her husband, Mark Smith, of the Kardec Radio for Kids. Caro Correa has given talks in English about overcoming bullying, Spiritist tips for better living, the blessings of physical challenges from a Spiritist perspective, and about the dealing with the relationship dynamics in estranged child-parent relationships from a Spiritist perspective. She has a doctorate in education from the University of Delaware, and she has been teaching English as a second language to international students for 10 years. Welcome, Caro Correa.
Hello, everybody. Hi, good morning. Who here actually wants to have a new year? Raise your hand. A real new year. Not the one that you just wish to people, but one that you actually want to change. How many of you are open to change? Because have you ever stopped to think about the fact that if we don't change, there will be nothing new about the quote-unquote new year? So how many of you are actually willing to change? All right, some brave souls here. Congratulations. And we are blessed not only in 2017, but forever as immortal spirits, because we have the blessing of the Spiritist philosophy. So we already recognize ourselves as immortal spirits. How many of you already feel that you are an immortal spirit? Okay, great. We're getting there. Congratulations. Hopefully by thank you, Marcio. Good student of life. Hopefully by the end of this talk, your reality as an immortal spirit will be more apparent to you. You will be able to feel that reality. But you may be asking yourself, Carolina, that's a lot to ask. How do I get to feel that reality? Well, according to Jesus, the Master, in the book Good News, in a conversation he had with the doctor of law, Nicodemus, according to him, it is not enough to know what we know. It's also necessary to feel the reality. So we actually need two wings to learn to fly. The wing of knowledge and the wing of love. But let's get started with our journey before flying away towards God, right? Let's try to develop our two wings. How may we start? Well, Allan Kardec, our great and beautiful educator, asked this very question to the illuminated minds more than 100 years ago. What can we do to actually have a new year, or to progress more and more? What can we do? What should we do? Please tell us now. And the kind spirits, the illuminated minds, answered to Kardec very simply. If you really want to evolve and develop your two wings, you need knowledge. Therefore, Kardec codified the book, the Spirit's book, which has more than 1,000 questions, exactly to quench our thirst for knowledge. And our dear Bia Lopez, who is here right now, thank you, Bia, is doing a beautiful study of the Spirits book for young adults every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Right, Bia? So if you don't like reading, if you're like, oh, this book is too heavy, I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to develop back pain, whatever, Bia is there for you, literally. She's there for you to guide you in your journey. So luckily, we are not alone, right? Thank you, Bia. Okay? Oh, yes. Oh, no, I'm fine. I was just trying to figure out where the images were going. Okay, can you press again? Again, please, Mark. Okay, so thanks to Bia Lopez and the kind spirits, we learn in the Spirits book, in another question that Kardec kindly asked, that we are never alone. So you may be thinking now, oh my gosh, what happens when I take a shower? Are spirits actually watching me? They may. So if you like singing in the shower, you might as well sing a positive message, right? That way, kind spirits will shower you with love as you shower your physical body. There you go. That's a habit that we could all develop for the new year, right? So because we're never alone, it's not me that is saying that, by the way. It's the illuminated minds answering Kardec's questions. It's important to have indulgence, to be kind, because we are being observed at all times. And as we learn, we also teach, even when we are taking a shower, believe it or not. Why is it important for us to observe ourselves and to change the landscape of our hearts? Because whatever we sow, like it was read in the message from Happy Life, we will reap. And that's a lesson that André Lewis, in this picture right here, learned when he made the great transition to the spiritual realm. He was classified as a person who committed indirect suicide. And he was like, me? No, there must be something wrong with your files. You need better computers. What are you guys doing? Are you crazy? Did you go on my Facebook? See, I always posted something positive. I always texted good stuff. I even listened to Bia on Kardec Radio for Teens. I did my homework. I came to the center in Connecticut. I even watched the English lectures. What are you saying? Well, your thoughts also matter. So if we want to change ourselves, we also need to change the quality of our thoughts, because André Lewis couldn't really feel loved. He couldn't also offer love or harvest thoughts of love. So that's something that we could really agree as a New Year resolution for immortality, to replace negative thoughts with more positive ones. Because our friends from the spiritual realm, as you can see here, will always be around, whether we would like it or not. So if we are emitting less than happy thoughts, less than happy friends will be around us. If we change the course of our thinking with the help of Bia on Kardec for Teens, right, Bia? We can also change the kind of companionship that is around us in both realms of life. How beautiful is that? Are you guys feeling empowered already? No, not yet? Getting there. All right, let's continue our journey then. Why else is it important for us to be kinder, not only to ourselves, but towards others? Because when we are not kind, we may get involved in battles with ourselves and with the friends around us. For example, how many of us sometimes look in the mirror and say, Oh, I wish I had a better nose. Oh, I wish I had a better hair. I wish I could change my hair color. Maybe I should wear contact lenses. Oh, maybe I should change my clothes. Oh my gosh, how bulky can the sweater be, etc. If we ever had these moments, congratulations, we're humans. Welcome to the human race. But we want to slowly but surely replace these habits, because if we don't, we may be literally engaging in torturing ourselves and others. So if we engage in making small changes, we can literally change how we see ourselves. And this is what Dr. Bezerra de Menezes reports in the book Obsession in the case of Rosangela. She was considered to be, quote-unquote, a crazy person through human eyes. But what happened was that she engaged in so much negative thought that she became a prison of her body and her mind. Want to know how she got out of it? You won't believe it. Through the God at Home. Can you believe that? Do you guys know what the God at Home is? Sing, I heard sing over there. That's good. Congratulations, a true immortal spirit speaking up for herself. Congratulations. Anybody else? Do you guys know what the God at Home is? I'm a teacher, that's why I ask questions. Sorry. Can't help it. I'm a teacher. Okay, so let me refresh your memory. The God at Home is literally the process of inviting God not only to our physical home, but to the home of our very own hearts. How do we do that? Well, luckily it's very simple. We pick a day and a time every week, and we open an inspirational message. Could be Happy Life, like the one that Gabriel read. That is a very cool book. Thank you. It could be Happy Life. It could be any book that speaks to our hearts. We read it and we nourish our souls. And then we comment on it, talk about what we understand, and then we say a little prayer. And just by doing that, we renew the spiritual reality around us. And we train our minds to cultivate positivity and love. But how do we train our minds, Caroline? I already go to the gym. I already go to school. I already have to read books for school. I have teachers like you who ask me a million questions. How do I do that? I already have a lot to do. Well, luckily, Emmanuel in the book Living Spring gives us the recipe, and it's only a two-step process. Can you believe it? Only 2 tiny steps. Time and effort. So all we need to acquire a habit is to practice it over time and to put effort onto it. According to recent studies in neuroscience, we already create new neural pathways, new pathways in our mind and brain in 21 days. So can you believe it? Today is January 8th. What's 21 days from now? Huh? February what exactly? I'm terrible at math. That's why I'm an English teacher. What's 21 days from now? January 29th? Is that right? I don't know. I'm not counting. I'm terrible at counting. January 29th? So guess what? If you start replacing one little negative thought today, just one, by January 29th, your level or rate of positivity will have increased dramatically. But what's the secret? Time and effort. Time and effort. Time and effort. And who does that up to this day for us? The Master, Jesus. He still repeats his lessons in the echoes of our hearts through time and with a lot of effort. This is why we have beautiful spiritist centers like this one. We are the result of our masters' time, dedication, and effort. And if our master has been dedicating himself to all of us for at least 2,000 years, although we know that it's even more because he's the governor of this planet, what's in it for us in 21 years? If he's been at it for 2,000 years, 21 days seems like nothing, right? So we can do it. And how do I know, Carolina, that we can do it? Prove it to me. Okay, if you would like me to prove it to you, no problem. If we go to the book Heaven and Hell, it's Kardec's and the Illuminated Minds version of a Mexican soap opera. In my view, it's better than the global soap operas. Seriously. Because we nourish our souls, and in the second part of the book, we have cases like the soap operas of people who discarnated and come back to tell us what happens on the other side of life. So if you like global soap operas, I highly recommend that you read the cases on the second part of the book, Heaven and Hell, because the soap opera there is really hot, since there are thousands, not thousands, but at least 100 characters there for us to enjoy. And if you don't like reading heavy books, Kardec Radio and the Spiritist Society of Virginia has it all in audio files for you. But I would like to bring to our attention the case of Samuel Philippe. Samuel Philippe was a young adult, like some of you here, and he was bullied. He suffered from bullying at work, at school, and around his family, everywhere he went. He felt like a fish out of water. He felt as though he didn't belong. Anytime he tried to do something good or positive for other people, they misjudged him and literally told him, "Get out of my business, get out of my way. You're too much for me, get out of my life." What do you guys think his response to all of that was? "Get out of my life, etc., etc. Disappear, please." What do you think his response was? "You get out of my life." No, luckily he didn't say that. Why? Because he decided to have the courage to love even when other people didn't love him, which is the hardest kind of love that there is. This is why Jesus came to teach us that very kind of love. So he decided to align himself with the Master and love those who didn't love him. So instead of responding to them, even though his heart broke in a million pieces, he decided to pray for them. But how do I pray for them? I don't have the courage. I can't do it. A little secret. Just close your eyes or keep them open and say, "Oh God." Did you know that that's a prayer? All you need to do is one word. Say one word to connect to the higher minds around you. How many of you have iPhones, video games, Twitter, like the President of the United States now? A lot of you, see? And you now know that it's a fact that we can connect wirelessly to other people, right? Nobody here doubts that we don't need outlets to connect to other people, that we can connect to someone on the other side of the planet right now in 1 second. Guess what? The technology in the spiritual realm is even faster. Their iPhones, so to speak, are like 100G instead of 7G. So they can get to us in a split of a second. So all I have to do is say, "Oh God," and the mentors will already be around us. If you don't believe me, that's great. Awesome. I challenge you. Next time you feel challenged, try it out. Next time you feel challenged, try it out. I dare you. All you have to do is say, "Oh God," try it out, and you'll see for yourself. So, because kindness towards ourselves and towards others seems to be, according to our Master and the illuminated minds around us, a key for us to really construct a new year and a new life for immortality, I would like to ask you guys, how can we put kindness into action? We asked Mother Teresa this question, and she tended to say prayer is one of the ways, because prayer is love in action. And you see here the Master of all Master washing his disciples' feet in an act of sublime humbleness. Supreme and sublime humbleness. So here are two acts of kindness to inspire us. But now I would like to ask you, Mark, can you help me, please? I brought little hearts for some of you guys. Don't worry, not all of them are pink, okay? If you don't like pink, you don't have to stick to pink. Don't worry. You can see I like pink, but you don't have to. Can you please pass it around? Okay, so we're gonna pass it around for you guys. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. This is not homework, so don't worry. If you want one, grab one. If you don't, no worries. And our challenge right now, our loving challenge, is to think of one way, everyone who wants to, is to think of one way in which we could practice kindness as a resolution for the new year and for immortality. So the challenge now, loving challenge from the higher minds around us, is for us to write on the heart one way in which we could practice kindness. And I'm going to invite you to put your heart on the screen for us after you finish. It's not going to ruin your screen. Don't worry, Marcio. I tested it out. Don't worry, okay. I was thinking of you. Kindness towards you was on my mind. Don't worry.
It's just a high super glue that they used on the space shuttle. It comes off relatively easily.
That's not kind, Mark.
Be there forever.
So when you are ready, please come up and help us decorate the screen here. Yes. Anywhere you would like. How can we practice kindness? Of course. Love is good everywhere. So even on her nose, she can breathe love. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's showing the.
Thank you. Whoa.
Oh, you need to take the.
Yeah, you need to take it out.
There's a sticker.
There's a sticker, yes.
Maybe mine doesn't.
Maybe yours doesn't. I think it
Keep
does.
Right here.
Yay, we did it. Thank you. Perseverance at its best. Não, tá bem. Obrigada. Não, tá bom, tá ótimo. Thank you, guys. Doesn't our reality look so much more beautiful with love around it, literally? Doesn't it look beautiful? Towards the end of our therapeutic works today, I'm going to read them to you, and you're going to be asked to pick one and take it home with you. Okay? So let's continue, inspired by the love that you literally are spreading around. Thank you, thank you. Why is it so important for us to literally spread love around instead of holding grudges, which would be the other option, right? Why? Why should we do this? Mark? We have a great reporter, better than Fantástico and Globo in my point of view, better than Jornal Nacional and everything else. CNN, better than CNN. Why? Because CNN, say it again? CNN and all other news networks only focus on the material world, the physical world, on what we can see. But we have this awesome reporter, better than Diane Sawyer. Literally, seriously, I love him! Andre Lewis. The only difference between him and us is that he doesn't have a physical body anymore, but who cares, right? Still awesome reporter. He's a reporter and a researcher, and he has written to the blessed hands of Chico Xavier about 12 books studying the realities on the other side, and we have it. So reading his books is like wearing a bifocal sunglasses or glasses. You don't have to be old to wear one, okay? It's one that allows us to see both realities, the spiritual one and the physical one at the same time. I love it. So what does he tell us? He tells us in the book Evolution in Two Worlds, which has been translated into English but not published yet. He tells us that even our cells respond to our thinking and feelings. I will repeat that. He reports to us that even our cells respond to our thinking and our emotions. Why? Because our cells are electromagnetic mechanisms inside of us, believe it or not. How do I know that? Because we are energy. We have a perispiritual body enveloping our spirit, and that is energy. So therefore, the raw material that we are made of is also energy. So the energy that we produce in terms of our thought forms and emotions guide our physical, mental, and spiritual health. How cool is that? So, in knowing that, if we study the book Sex and Destiny, which is now being recorded by Francisca Cons and Mackenzie Mello for Kardec Radio every Wednesday at 5. So if you want to listen to it, you can enjoy it. In the book Sex and Destiny, we learn the case of Beatrice. Beatrice is terminally ill, and you can see around her a little friend here. Luckily, we are already telling her to help others with the heart that you guys shared. But how do you think she's feeling? Look at her. Look at her body language. How do you think she's feeling? Can you see her body language? She's like this. How do you think she's feeling? Happy? Excited? Celebrating the new year? How is she feeling? Yeah? Sad, for sure. Nobody who's happy walks around like this. Sad, very good. What else might she be feeling? Sick, for sure. She looks sick. She looks like she has black, rounds of black tiredness around her eyes. Worse than me as a teacher, that's for sure. And mothers too. Mothers, here's your consolation, right? What else? Sick, sad, what else do you think she's feeling? Lifeless, exactly. The story of the spirit surrounding Beatriz is that Beatriz has always been jealous of her because in a previous life, she and Beatriz shared the same love interest. So if you're jealous of someone at school, because she may be more popular than you or have a certain brand of clothes or wear certain types of makeup or have a certain pair of sunglasses or hang out with a certain guy or girl that you may have a certain interest in. Good luck and be mindful because you know that when we learn through Andre Lewis that when we establish an emotional connection with someone, even if there is no physical contact, we are connected to that person. And that connection doesn't disappear just because we moved schools. That connection stays with us for as long as we have that certain feeling of attachment. So let us really, in the new year, remind ourselves that we are immortal souls and avoid holding grudges towards that guy or that girl or that person, because if we do hold grudges, we are emotionally connected to that person, like Beatriz is connected to this person. And how about jealousy? In the book Liberation, we see the case of Isabel. She is in love with this man. This man loves her. It's so beautiful. But she starts having feelings of jealousy because she hangs out with other people and he's very popular, very loving. Everybody wants to see him. Everybody wants to spend time with him. So Isabel starts having doubts and she asks herself, well, does he really love me? Does he really care about me? Does he really want to be around me? And as she opens her mind up to these doubts that literally eat her alive, she changes the kind of spiritual companions that she used to have, her network, just like the Facebook network. Her spiritual Facebook completely changes. And so she starts getting literally, emotionally, and physically sick. So one good year, new life, immortal resolution is for us to become more aware of our feelings, because our feelings are like glue. They literally glue us to people who think and feel alike us. And this is why Emmanuel, do you guys see Emmanuel here? Do you guys know who Emmanuel is? No? He is one of the mentors that Chico Xavier had, the main, most beautiful guide that Chico Xavier had. Chico Xavier is the person who psychographed all those books, 400 plus books. And I have a crush on him, and Mark knows it. Sorry, Mark, it's like I can't help it, but in a good way. So because I have a crush on him, of course, he has to be there. And that's why he always reminds us and me, Carolina, even though you have a crush on me, watch out. Because thoughts are like baking soda. You put a little bit, a dash of it here, a dash of it there, and it may grow in directions that you don't expect. So thank you, Emmanuel, but I still have a crush on you. Okay. Go ahead. So the question is, since Emmanuel, my love, my other love on the other side, has told me, Carolina, be careful, a dash of it here, a dash of it there, can go in directions that you don't expect. The question is, okay, I'm human. I experience this sometimes. So how do I deal with it? Tell me. Okay, we got it. We're getting there. Okay, more, Mark. We have, of course, Allan Kardec to help us, right? His books can be used as guides for us because they are result of Christ's beautiful work. They are the promised consoler. And Emmanuel, of course, Emmanuel. In the book Thought and Life, it had to be Emmanuel, of course. He says that books are like dynamos of energy. That if we read books, we can change the way that we are thinking and feeling, and we can create new neural pathways in our mind. So we can literally change our brain structure by reading. So why not nourish our soul in this way? Learn for immortality. And how else can we address the grudges that, of course, as humans we may hold? Luckily, we have another great writer, spirit writer, Humberto de Campos, one of the best writers in Brazilian literature, who in the spiritual realm reported to us 30 cases of Jesus' actual passages on earth, much beyond what traditional books can tell us. And there was one particular disciple of Jesus about whom we don't speak very much, Bartholomew, who suffered from depression. Have you guys ever seen a cartoon where there's a hyena? This is an old cartoon, so I'm telling you my age, sorry. But it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon where there's a hyena, and the hyena is always unhappy. She's always like, oh me, oh my, oh dear, oh life. I forget its name, but the hyena is always like this. And whenever someone invites a hyena to do something new, she says, let's not even try because that's not going to work. And then when things don't work, the hyena says, oh me, oh my, oh dear. And that's exactly how the apostle Bartholomew behaved. He suffered from depression 2,000 years ago. And he came to Jesus and he said, Master, really, you're super cool. You're the best and I know it, but I can't follow you. It all sounds really beautiful, but I really can't follow you. This is too much for me. And Jesus, as a great educator, tells him, well, have you ever heard of Bartholomew, good news that make people sad? And Bartholomew said, oh, that's an interesting question. I never thought about that. I think you're right. I think we're not really supposed to be sad, right? And Jesus then said, if you really want yourself or other people to believe in the nature of the news that I am bringing to earth, you must have the courage to be happy. It is no longer a choice for you. And he said, okay, Master, but how can I succeed? Can you tell me where to go? And Jesus said, yes, there are 3 pillars for success for the soul. A person must have courage. A person must have hope. And a person must have faith. So joy, hope, courage, and faith are the suggestions, recommendations that the Master himself makes. If you want to know more about Bartholomew, Kardec Radio has a recorded version of that very chapter. So you can see the transformation from depression to joy that Jesus offered his disciple and all of us, of course. It has already been translated. Yes. Okay. Next. Ah, yes. Hardy Har Har is the hyena that I was thinking of. Look her up and laugh with her, please. Next one. So Jesus told us that the trademark of a follower of the good news is joy. But how can we feel joy? How can we feel it? How can it become more real? These cards right here, onion heads, can help us. Did you know that there are a total of 150 emotions that we feel? Neuropsychologists have cataloged our emotions and created cards to help us recognize them. So on the website harnessinghappiness.com, you can see the cards for free and see if you recognize yourself in those emotions. Because as we get to know ourselves, we can better deal with who we are, and we can learn to make better choices little by little every day. And we can use the beautiful power of affirmations. Louise Hayes, who in my view is a missionary very much aligned with our beautiful Spiritist principles, tell us that as we tell ourselves a new reality, as we train our minds to believe in a new reality, that reality becomes real. First, we have to fake it because it doesn't feel real, but as we fake it, we may make it. So I would like to invite you guys all to try it. I brought the cards here with me. And thank you. It's a miracle of joy. So I would like to pass it around and ask each of you to grab one, please. Thank you. So as we reflected upon, in order to change our lives, we need to change the way we feel about ourselves and the way we think about ourselves and others. And affirmation are a beautiful way to do that. So let me share one with you on the screen. If you are comfortable, we can say it all together. And then I will invite you to look at yours. If you would like, you can share yours with everyone. Or we will do an exercise where we will all say it together. And I ask you, if you feel comfortable, to put your hand in your heart as you say it. Because neuroscience has already proven to us that if we use our sense of touch together with the power of our thinking and voice, we are more likely to feel a new reality and therefore, with time, incorporate it. So let's say one all together first, and then you guys can share yours, or you can say yours out loud all at once. If we say ours out loud all at once, the power of love is multiplied by your beautiful voice and your beautiful heart. So let's practice saying one. No, there's one that I put on the presentation.
Oh, this one that you put here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We're going to all sing this one together.
Yes.
Oh.
There's another one, isn't
Maybe.
there? Yeah, there it is. So I would like to invite us to say the one that you see on the screen all together. First, everyone says the same one, and then I invite you to say your individual one. Okay? Are you guys ready? I'm going to say it too. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm worth loving. One more time. I'm worth loving. Marcio, you are worth loving. Come on, you can do it. I'm worth loving. Very good. Now I would like to invite you to say your individual one. You pick a side. I got one. I like this side better. I will say it to you. Mine says, I am a radiant being enjoying life to the fullest. Beautiful. So now can I invite you guys to say it? Does anybody have the courage to share it out loud? Okay. Wow, my happy thoughts help create my healthy body. Awesome. Yes, sir. Wow, that's powerful. I am pain-free and totally in sync with life. That's a beautiful way to start a new year. Do you want to share yours?
As I forgive myself, it becomes easier to forgive others.
Powerful, beautiful. As I forgive myself, it becomes easier to forgive others. Gabriel? Wow, look at you. I deserve to have a successful career, and I accept it now. I'll take that. Yes?
When I make a mistake, I realize that it is only part of the learning process.
Cool, very cool. I'll take that one too. When I make a mistake, I realize that it's only part of the learning process. Yes, sir? Oh, I return my body to optimum health by giving it what it needs on every level. And you had your hand up here?
Alright, everyone in my life has something to teach me. We have a purpose in being together.
Oh, everyone in my life has something to teach me. We have a purpose in being together. Love it. Can we agree to say all of our affirmations together now? I know they aren't going to be the same, but the spirit mentors are here, and they are recording what you're saying, and they're going to remember this moment and encourage you throughout the year. So do you have the courage to speak to your spirit mentor right now by saying your affirmation out loud? Okay? 1, 2, 3, go! I am a radiant being, enjoying life to the fullest. Yay! Congratulations! Awesome! So please remember, you are a beautiful child of God, and you deserve deserve to be happy. That's my New Year's resolution for each of you and for immortality. Thank you, guys. Do you guys have any million bonus hour questions? Not dollars, but bonus hours? Any questions that you would like me to answer at all? Yes? My favorite book, oh, that's such a difficult question, but it is Good News, where Humberto de Campos reports 30 events in Jesus' life. I love that book. I cry. I've read it 20 times and I cry every time. My husband Mark already knows, so he has Kleenex for me as I read because he's already expecting me to cry. Yes. Thank you. Any other $1,000,000 questions? Oh, million bonus hour, sorry. Million bonus hour questions? If you want, you could take a picture of your saying. So, já foi. Too fast, Mark. Yes. But if you want, you can come. Yes, and you can come after we finish if you would like, and you can take as many pictures as you wish.
This person is such an interesting spirit. She worked with people who had AIDS in California in the 80s, and she was able to basically bring people back to a sense of health and emotional well-being, even though everybody back then who had AIDS was seen as really like stigmatized and treated really badly by the society. She's a really interesting person.
Right. Yeah, so as Mark puts that up on the screen, I'm going to